Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode and a video on the channel. I'm so excited that you're here. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a registered dietitian and I help people address eczema by looking deeper into the root cause, including gut health, nutrition, and the nervous system. I'm here to support you on your journey in achieving clear skin with a hint of behind the scenes of my life. A lot of the times I share tips based on my own life experience and also dealing with eczema as well. While it is completely under control, I don't have any rashes. But because I have a lived experience with eczema, I'm able to share my tips and how I deal with eczema, but also from a clinical perspective. Majority of my patient cases are people with eczema. I'm also always sharing evidence-based recommendations to help you heal your skin. Now, before we get into today's episode, I actually have a bit of a tragedy I want to share with you guys. Today is actually May 30th, Saturday. Exactly 1 week ago, May 23rd, I completely ruptured my Achilles. Gosh, it has been quite the week, I would say. I am still in denial that I am immobile and my life is going to be really different from the next 6 months and onwards up to a year. I think I'm still processing it. I've had a couple hard nights where I was really questioning my life. And I think as I'm navigating this journey, I'm sure there's going to be more things that I'm learning because this is quite new. It literally just happened a week ago, playing pickleball. Any of you guys who do sports, I don't know how you guys do it because this is a crazy injury. The crazy thing about the situation for me is I don't even play sports. I don't even play pickleball. I was just going to play with my parents just for fun. And in the last 10 minutes, that's when I completely ruptured my Achilles. I'm actually probably going to make a whole episode about this because I'm also now on a completely new healing journey that is reminding me of my journey with eczema. And I will definitely create an episode about my Achilles and what happened and all the things I'm doing right now to try and heal it. I've actually got so many lovely DMs from a lot of you because I did make a post on my story, how you know of someone, your partner, your husband. Achilles injury is very common. And so you guys were giving such great tips to help me. So I really appreciate you if you were one of the ones that reached out. Anyways, that's been my life in the past week, just trying to navigate. I have a boot on right now and you don't realize how much you need your foot until you deal with the injury where you literally cannot walk. But anyways, that's a separate episode. So today's episode is actually inspired by something I've been noticing, not just only with my patient case, also with myself. And last week, I actually did a talk at a physio clinic, ironically, and I was teaching everybody about how it's so important to include breakfast into your daily routine. And from speaking to the physios, what I've learned and seen is that a lot of people are skipping breakfast and they don't know why they have low energy. They don't know why they don't feel great. And it's interesting because the pattern we're seeing in people who don't function 100% are usually the people that tend to skip breakfast. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about what skipping breakfast actually does to your body in terms of your nervous system, your blood sugars, and your skin. Why skipping breakfast or even just meals in general, how that can actually impact your eczema. And what are some signs that your body's actually asking for more nourishment? Also, side note, if you guys haven't tried the honey salted coffee homemade, you need to try this recipe. I just literally found this recipe watching an influencer make it. It's basically your double shot espresso, put some honey in it, then you add a little bit of sea salt and mix it up and then pour it onto ice with your choice of milk. I have oat milk here. It is so good. It literally doesn't even make me want to have anything else but this. And it's so easy, honey and salt. Whoever thought that would be really good, but this is going to be a part of our episode today. Okay, so as I mentioned, one of the things I'm noticing clinically as a dietitian in my practice is a lot of my clients, they skip breakfast. And there are multiple reasons why people skip breakfast, but the trend that I'm seeing is that number one, we're really busy in the morning. You don't have time to make breakfast because you've got kids running around, you got to take them to school, you're rushing to work. Mornings are usually very hectic for people, especially busy professionals or busy parents. So that's one reason. The other reason is that a lot of people don't feel hungry. Can you relate to that? You wake up, the thought of food makes you sick for some people. You don't even think about food because you don't have those hunger cues. So of course you're going to skip breakfast until later on the day when you start to feel hungry. The third reason is people are intermittent fasting because of weight loss reasons. Or some people just want to do fasting because they've heard that fasting is good for inflammation. The last reason is that a lot of people drink coffee first thing in the morning, and we know that coffee suppresses your appetite. So if it suppresses your appetite, you're not going to feel hungry for breakfast. Those are the main reasons as to why people might be skipping breakfast. And I would encourage you to really look at what's the reason why you're skipping breakfast and if it makes sense based on your body, based on your eczema and how you're feeling, which we'll dive into. Because what I've seen clinically for a lot of people who do skip breakfast, they're usually the ones that have blood sugar levels that are pretty unstable. They have a lot of stress going on in their life, right? Because they're busy in the morning, they're rushed. There is some level of inflammation, right? If you're listening, then you likely have eczema or inflammation of some sort, or you have gut issues. And so if you have any of these and you're also skipping breakfast, and I would really encourage you to look into, okay, are you fueling your body enough? Because the structure of your day, what you eat in the morning and what time you eat can actually influence how you feel for the rest of the day, including how you feel in the evening, as well as how your skin heals as well. With that being said, let's talk about physiologically what happens when you skip breakfast. In the morning time, your cortisol level, which is the stress hormone, not a bad hormone, we need cortisol to wake us up in the morning. That's why cortisol typically naturally rises in the morning. But the problem with a lot of people is that if you're waking up and your cortisol levels are already naturally rising, and then you're drinking caffeine, and then you're stressed, and then you're rushing around, and on top of it, you're skipping breakfast, you're actually going to have a higher than normal cortisol level. And while a higher than level cortisol level is not inherently bad, but if it becomes chronically high every morning, we know that cortisol can lead to inflammation. We know that cortisol is linked to stress. And so when there is stress in the morning from rushing, from underfueling, from taking too much caffeine, then that can lead to more inflammation. And when you skip breakfast, because breakfast is the meal where you're fueling your body with protein, fats, and fiber, right? That helps to balance your blood sugars. If you don't have breakfast and you drink coffee, your body is essentially using stress hormones to maintain your energy and to maintain your blood sugars. And we don't want that, right? We don't want to be using our cortisol to maintain our blood sugars. We want food to be able to do that. But if you don't have food, it's going to have to rely on your stress hormones. And there's actually a study, an observational study that looked at habitual breakfast skippers. So people that are used to skipping breakfast, and what they found compared to people who don't is that they have a higher cortisol exposure, meaning their cortisol levels are more consistently higher than people that eat breakfast. They also looked at their blood pressure, and they found that people who skip breakfast consistently had higher blood pressure levels. What we can say is that breakfast skipping has been associated with disrupted cortisol levels. Now, the other thing that happens with people that skip breakfast is blood sugar imbalance. When you do an overnight fast because you're sleeping, your body has already gone around 8 to 12 hours of having no food. So in order to keep your blood sugar stable, your liver releases glucose into the bloodstream to help maintain blood sugar levels. So again, for those of you who are already stressed, you're already under eating, that's going to further tax the body. And if you're dealing with inflammation, that's just going to make it harder for your body because we're not giving it what it needs, which is essentially food in the morning. And so the question I get is, but Julia, I don't feel hungry in the morning. How am I going to start incorporating breakfast? If your nervous system is chronically activated, your digestion is going to be suppressed. And so of course you're not going to feel hungry in the morning if you're one of those people that is really rushed in the morning, where you're just feeling overwhelmed in the morning from all the things that you have to do. So it's really about training your body to slowly incorporate breakfast. We're not talking about having a complete meal right away, especially if you've been used to chronically not having breakfast. It's going to take some time for you to build back to that baseline again. If you've skipped breakfast for years, your hunger hormones has changed a lot. It's adapted to this pattern of skipping breakfast. You're not going to have those hunger cues right away. I always love using the gym analogy because I feel like it's the most relevant. For someone that hasn't gone to the gym for 5 years and all of a sudden they start lifting really heavy, what's going to happen? Their muscles are really going to hurt, right? It's not going to be the best workout. They're going to be sore. So they're building up that tolerance and building up their muscles slowly with time. And over time, when they go to the gym more consistently, then their muscles aren't going to be super sore every time. The same thing goes with breakfast. Maybe have a lighter snack in the morning. Maybe have yogurt and a banana, or just have an apple to start. Like, anything is better than nothing at this point. We need to stabilize your blood sugars, and you need to have some fuel in the morning. Ideally, a meal or a snack that contains protein, fats, and fiber. I have a lot of episodes on my channel, by the way, that talks about how to meal plan, what are some foods to eat. So make sure you check those out. What are some signs and symptoms that that you're under fueling or that breakfast skipping probably isn't the best for you is, of course, if you are dealing with eczema and you're noticing inflammation, you're noticing more itching or more redness, it could be a possibility that you're not fueling your body enough. Now, of course, we know that eczema has multiple different root causes. It's not just because of skipping breakfast, but again, really have to look at someone's diet and lifestyle to really improve what we can improve, which is why having a dietitian on your team or having a practitioner on your team can help you identify areas that you can work on so that you can start to improve your symptoms. The other thing you also want to look at beyond your skin is how you feel throughout the day. Typically, people who skip breakfast, they may feel fine in the morning, but later in the day, they have intense cravings because if you don't eat enough during the day, you're going to want to crave more sugar and just end up being ravenous later in the day. Again, if you have blood sugar instability from skipping breakfast, then you might even feel dizzy. You might even feel irritable. You might even feel like crashing, like you're tired because you're not getting enough fuel. You're not getting enough calories, protein, and fiber. Maybe beyond eczema, you're also having brain fog, right? We need food to fuel our minds as well. And so if you're not eating enough, you're not going to function well in terms of your whole body. So you may or may not feel it in different systems of the body, which is why when I say when you're healing from eczema and inflammation, a lot of it is about tuning into your own body. The nuance with that is a lot of people are so out of tune with their bodies, they don't even know how to feel, if that makes sense. So it is a journey of really learning about your body and what are the signs and symptoms and trying to figure out how you can understand those signs and start to make changes according to what you find. The takeaway for today's episode is if you are a breakfast skipper and you don't feel too great with your symptoms in your body, then maybe it's something you want to look into, nourishing your body more, having a more complete breakfast. And a part of stress is not just about regulating your nervous system, which I talk about in a lot of my episodes, but regulating your nervous system is also about how you nourish your body with foods. And if you're feeling stuck with eczema, you're overwhelmed and you don't know what to work on, you need more support when it comes to your diet, nutrition, root causes, and nervous system, I'm here to support. This is what I specialize in. I will look into your case and identify blind spots that we often don't see with ourselves. I'll leave all the links in the show notes below if you want to book a free consultation. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube so you don't miss another weekly episode. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to finish my honey salt coffee. So good. Probably go elevate my foot and figure out what I'm doing with my life. We will see you in the next one.